G'day fellas, and welcome to a patch overview for Age of Empires 4. It is just released today. It is fresh off the blocks, fresh out of the oven, whatever you want to say. And we've got a new theme. It's going to be the Halloween theme. I like that they've just... did they used to put the number on these artworks? I think they did. And they've just stopped. They're just like, patch! Okay, cool, patch. There you go. It's the Halloween patch. Let's take a look and see. We've got some pretty good changes here. I'm excited about the balance changes, but more importantly, I'm excited about the repair changes. So we'll get down to that soon, but let's start by taking a look at what we've got. The new seasonal event, Hallows Hearth. Starting next month, you'll be able to explore a delightfully spooky biome with our latest seasonal event, Hallows Hearth. The event features an eerie, event-exclusive biome and 10 challenges to overcome for thematic rewards. We hope you have a hauntingly good time. So we can see it runs from the 3rd of October through to November 7th, so just a little bit before the expansion comes out. So you can see the new biome. I'll be honest, it's look, it's on theme. I'm not really a fan. I'm more of like a temperate kind of guy. But it looks good though. For what it is, I like the little pumpkins that have been added in as well. Let's move on. You can see we've got one of the portraits there. We don't unfortunately get all of them. I don't know why the images sometimes load like this. All of the achievements as well. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go through them individually. And there we go. We get some more login event rewards. So here we go. Let's get to the meat. Let's get to the potatoes. The ranked season update. So season 5's ranked season will extend from October 23 to November 13th at 11:59 p.m. Now, this is a really good change. I like this a lot because it means now that we don't have that downtime period between the end of the ranked season and the release of the expansion. The expansion will happen, if I remember correctly, on the 14th of November. So we've literally got maybe one day where there's no ranked, and then you're straight back into it, which is what I love to hear. I remember early on, I think with the DLC initially, we had... probably like it was a couple of days, maybe like 3 days or something. It was terrible. I really disliked it. Maybe it was the first season going into the second one. Anyway, map pool rotation. Today's patch also comes with a full map rotation for ranked play and some map related changes for unranked quick match. So for unranked quick match, Hill and Dale and Wetlands have been added, and the map downvotes have been increased from 5 to 7. I like that. That's a good change. 1v1 ranked map pool. Hold on. Drop the mic. This is important. Ranked map pool for 1v1. Altai. Yep, I like it. Danube River. Yeah, not really a fan, but it's not terrible. Dry Arabia. Best map in the game. 10 out of 10. Four Lakes. It's not bad, but, I mean, there are better maps. Golden Heights. Good map. I like it. Highview. It's an open map, so I'll give it a pass. Hill and Dale. I'll give that one a pass as well. Lippany. I'll give that a pass, definitely. And Prairie. Honestly, this is really quite good. I like this a lot. So, realistically, if I'm queuing up in ranked, I'm downvoting Four Lakes. I'm downloading Danube River. I'm also downvoting Danube River. What else am I downvoting? Like, that's pretty much it, right? Like, maybe Golden Heights if I don't want to play around with, you know, that little water bit over to the right. And I feel like that's how it should be, right? Like, there should be at max a 3 water map, so that if I don't want to play water, I don't have to play water. But I like this a lot. This is probably the best the ranked map pool has ever been, which is really exciting. Because the devs continue to work on it. So let's get that music back in. Team ranked map pool, Dry Arabia, Golden Heights, Hideout is in there. I love Hideout in team games. It's so much more fun. High View, Hill and Dale, Lippany, Prairie, The Pit, and Wetlands. Noticeably Wetlands is gone here from the ranked map pool. I did like Wetlands. I thought it was quite good. The Pit's not bad as well. I don't mind that either. Q dodging. Today's build invalidates some common forms of queue dodging that exploited the game's menus and UI. The actions needed to execute these dodges can no longer be performed in-game. You've heard it here first, folks. Queue dodging has been fixed. I can confirm. As part of updating to this latest build, of course, you've lost all of your replays. That's pretty standard. And gameplay. Console only. Resolved an issue on console where the auto-villager creation feature was not working on most campaign missions. Mods and content editor. Modded win conditions no longer crash. UX, UI menus fix an issue where some post-game ranked information text was cut off in certain regions. And then we've got the PC UX UI. Options to specify audio input-output devices for voice chat have been added to PC. Cool, that's actually really good, because apparently this was defaulting to... I remember reading about it in one of the Discord servers I'm in, and basically someone was saying that it would always default to something that they didn't want it to, and they couldn't change it. So hopefully that has fixed that. That's good. What have we got for the console UX? Map seeds can now be copy-pasted. All right, some more stuff in here. I'm not a console gamer, but if you are, there you guys go. Now we get on to, we talked about the meat. Let's talk about the potatoes. This is it. Balance and bug fixes. My favorite part of any patch, the balance and bug fixes. All right, so general changes and bug fixes. Fixed a crash that could occur when packing a Mongol building after age up. Okay. Fixed an issue that could cause a rare crash when resuming the game from suspend on Xbox consoles. Wait, you guys have got suspend? Man, I want suspend. We don't even have pause over here. You guys have got suspend? Damn. Fixed a crash on Xbox related to fishing ships and the villager priority system. On the Xbox console, fishing ships are now counted in the villager priority system. There you go. Cool. Updates to repair. This one I'm really interested in. Base repair rate increased from 20 to 25 health per second. Repair diminishing returns formula adjusted so that repair with 3 to 10 villagers is approximately 5% slower overall. So developer note. This change is an overall reduction to repairing with large numbers of villagers. Our intention here is to specifically target repairs versus trebuchets so that defenders have a harder time stalling for long periods of time. We didn't increase trebuchet damage because our intent is not to increase the base time for a trebuchet to destroy a keep. All right, well, there you go. So that's quite interesting. So already, we can draw... I'm just going to pause the music because this is important. Already we can see some fallout from this. So the base repair rate has been increased from 20 to 25 health per second. That's not on keeps. That's on everything. So that's on your town centers. So all of a sudden, playing aggressive in the feudal age with rams, it becomes less impactful because now your opponent is repairing their buildings 25% faster. So that's a big impact. But the diminishing returns formula has been adjusted so that 3 to 10 villages is approximately 5% slower overall, which is not too bad because one of the big things you've got to remember with repair is that as soon as your building takes damage, you want to begin repairing it straight away. You don't want to throw on a whole bunch of villagers at the end when it's about to die. You want to sort of trickle those villagers in as the building HP goes down. So if your enemy is starting to hit you with 1 ram, then by all means, get 2 villagers, start repairing that town center immediately or start repairing that keep immediately. Obviously, the more villagers you add now, you're going to be hit by those diminishing returns a little bit less. But I think that this is or a little bit more rather. I think this is a huge buff, though, in the early game. If you're getting ram rush, let's say you're up against an Ottoman player, 8 minutes 30 in, the first ram's coming in, they've got about 9 archers and a meta, and all of a sudden you pull 3 vills to repair. Instead of you doing 60 health per second, you're now doing 75 health per second. And that's a big difference because that's effectively an extra villager now that you've got repairing. And so it means that, previously when town centers would have died, they now survive. And I think that is something that will help promote the 2TC style of play. It's something that will deter people from wanting to go for feudal all-ins a little bit more. So, interesting change. Look, I think overall it will be interesting to see how it unfolds at the top level. But let's continue moving on. Let's get on through to the balance changes. All civilizations, balance changes. Lightweight beams. Attack speed bonus reduced from 40% down to 20%. This was the upgrade in the Imperial Age for rams. And ram train time from siege workshops increased from 30 seconds up to 40 seconds. So we can see big nerfs to the rams in the late game. This change is intended to specifically target late game rams. We also have longer term goals to help scale them better throughout the ages and ensure that melee units' time to kill on rams is in a good spot at all stages of the game. Okay, so I think that's a good change. I mean, we've seen plenty of games where rams take over in the late game. And I know that the devs were talking about some other sorts of options. I know that they were considering pushing the ram to 2 population, because when you think about 2 population, in the early game, that's not really impactful. You might have to build an extra house. Doesn't really hurt you that much, but in the late game, it means that you can't build as many rams. But I think this is a better direction, because it just makes putting down siege workshops and pumping out rams a little bit more delayed so you can react to it. And of course, slightly less DPS in the late game on those rams. So I think this is a good change. Let's take a look at the other changes that we've got. So the bombard cost has been reduced from 500 gold, 300 wood to, 600 gold, 300 wood to 500 gold, 350 wood. So a reduction on gold, but a slight increase on wood. I like that. I think that's a good change. and they've removed the aim time from Rebaldequins and added it to the reload time. This makes the unit more responsive while keeping firing speed the same. Absolutely awesome. Randy the Rebaldequin is now actually going to be a bit more useful. Because one of the things that happens, I mean, obviously, as I said, there's an aim time that happens there. The Rebaldequin kind of looks at everybody, and it's gauging the units that are across it, and it's thinking to itself, am I going to shoot? Am I going to shoot? Should I shoot now? And then it finally shoots. Hopefully we don't see that anymore. The Rebaldequin cost has also been reduced from 600 gold, 300 wood to 500 gold, 350 wood, so the exact same as the Bombard. And the boiling oil radius has been increased from 1 tile to 1.1 tile, so slight increase there. So I think overall these changes, I've got to agree with all of them. I think they're all really solid changes, and the devs are 100% on point with these so far. Let's get on to the Civ-specific changes. The Abbasid dynasty corrected an issue where composite bows was giving a larger than intended attack speed bonus. Time between attacks increased from 1.12 to 1.25. So basically, attack speed, as you can see here, I mean, this is 1.12 seconds. They've changed it to 1.25 seconds. So it means over the course of, say, 8 seconds, you're getting off 1 less attack compared to what you were previously. I think composite bows is still pretty damn good. Players will still be going for it. It's just not as good as it was before. Chinese. Supervising a building with multiple Imperial officials no longer stacks the bonuses. It is currently still possible to have multiple Imperial officials supervise a building at the same time, but their bonuses will not combine. We intend to entirely prevent multiple supervisors in a future update. I think this is a great fix to the problem. For anybody who hadn't seen it, I specifically didn't cover it because it was pretty absurd. Once it got going in the late game, you could just instant pop bombards by having 4 supervisors on a building. It was an exploit. It wasn't an intended thing. But obviously that is going to require a bit of work on the back end to amend. So in the meantime, they just put a limit and they're just like, yeah, okay, no stacking. Okay, cool. You can still do the exploit. It just doesn't give you anything. So good change by the devs. It'll definitely take some time to fix that though, I'm sure. All right, Delhi Sultanate. The first madrasa built each game now grants 3 free scholars upon completion. This includes the Hisar Academy landmark, which acts as a madrasa. So the madrasa is the Delhi Sultanate's university. So this is an Imperial Age buff for the Delhi. And I like this. This is, if anything, a buff to that militaristic style play of Delhi. So maybe if you're thinking about playing early on with the attack speed, then this gives you that option. Because when you go for the Tower of Victory, you normally neglect scholar production a bit more than if you were to go for the Dome of the Faith. And here, this wouldn't really affect the Dome of the Faith builds because Dome of the Faith, you're going to hit Imperial with, 20 plus scholars. Whereas with the Tower of Victory, you'll be lucky to age up with 2 or 3 scholars to Imperial Age. So I think this is a really good change and helps out the Delhi Sultanate. Honestly, I wouldn't be like, I'm curious to see how this goes, but chuck that number up. Be like, instead of 3 free scholars, just give it 5 free scholars. Like, just chuck them in there. Go for it. Because the Delhi need all the help they can get in the late game. But I guess that's kind of like the drawback, right? Like, you want them to be stronger in the early games, a bit weaker in the late game, but then you don't want to give them all their late game stuff for free. So maybe 3 scholars is absolutely perfect. Never mind me. All right, let's move on to the French. Red Palace landmark obelisks granted to town centers and keeps range reduced from 10 to 9.5. This is a big change. One of the things that we saw the Mister take advantage of, I'm curious, did they nerf the French just because of the Mister? The Mister was going for the Red Palace landmark, just puts it on the back, and then pushed forward with town centers to utilize the obelisk emplacement from that town center. Whereas now he won't be able to do that because the Bombard will be able to respond to it. Before, you couldn't respond to that with the Bombard because the Red Palace obelisk emplacement would kill the Bombard. But now, because the Bombard's 10 range and the obelisk emplacement's only 9.5, there is a counter option for you. So that is a really good change there by the devs. Shout out to them. You guys are smashing this out of the park. Let's see how you keep going though. Holy Roman Empire, the Giga Chads. Minework Palace landmark. Oh, Beastie's favorite. Riveted chainmail technology costs reduced. This thing already was free, basically. They're giving it to you for even more free. They're going to be paying you to take this landmark soon. The cost reduced from 45 food, 105 gold, to 30 food, 75 gold. So 15 food off the top, 30 gold off the top. So 45 cost reduction there. And then steel barding, which is the castle age technology, has been reduced from 120 food, 300 gold, to 90 food, 210 gold. So some huge reductions there, as well as a buff to Lance Connect. Lance Connect being buffed up, so the Castle Age Lance Connect getting an extra 5 health, and the Imperial Age also getting an extra 5 health there. So, look, does this change the Minework Palace? I don't know. Probably not. I think, I mean, you either love it or you hate it, right? It's one of those two things. Is this going to convince Giga Chads to start taking it? Probably not. Probably not. Like, as I said, I think you could probably give both of these techs for free, and I still don't think it would change Minework Palace that much. I think there might be a couple of matchups where it makes sense. So, against the French, Minework Palace can really make sense because your focus might be on spears and horsemen. But for anyone who doesn't know, the riveted chainmail tech affects spears and horsemen. It gives them an extra 2 melee armor. So that's why it could work there. But other than that, Ark and Chapel is just... It's just such a good landmark, man. I feel like you're going to have to start nerfing the Ark and Chapel, but then you're nerfing the Holy Roman Empire, right? That's the only... How else do you make the Minework Palace more viable than what it is already? I really don't know. It's a tough call, but perhaps these changes are... Well, these changes are definitely in the right direction. Whether they're going to be enough, though, we'll have to wait and see. The Malians. Musofadi stealth duration increased from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Musofadi stealth ability cooldown reduced from 60 seconds to... These things have perma stealth. Oh my... They're going to be stealth forever. 30 seconds their duration is, and 30 seconds the cooldown is. Ooh, that's big, man. That is huge. So is that all Musofadi? That's got to be, right? All the Musofadi that can stealth, I guess, which is all of the Musofadi. That's the warriors. That's the ladies in the late game. Precision training technology increased to javelin... precision training technology increased to javelin damage, increased from 2 to 3. So this is the tech that increases the javelin damage of the archers, the javelins, and the Donzo's ranged attack. Okay, so these are big buffs. I mean, they're not really big buffs to the Malians. This isn't in any way game-changing in the early game, but I feel like in the mid-game, raids are going to be so annoying. Imagine dealing with a guy that comes in, kills all of your... or comes in stealth, so your outposts don't see them, and then kills 6 or 7 of your villagers. You send your army to go and defend, but he runs away, and then he stealths, so you can't see where they are. And now you're looking for the units. They're stealthed because he came in at the very end, or they came in at the very end of that 30-second duration timer. Yo, this could be big. If you have the ability or the skills to utilize this to full effect, tell you what, that's going to be crazy. Mongols, new technology. Hello, hold on a minute. We gotta pause this bad boy right here. New technology. Pax Mongolica. Mongolitsa. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to go with Mongolica. 300 stone, 700 gold. So, we know it's Imperial. Outpost gain 3 fire armor and 30% health. So it's basically just the stone outpost. Oh, but you don't have to individually tech it. Oh my god, this is insane for Mongols in FFA. Oh, no way. Oh my god, can you imagine Mongols in free-for-all now? Mongols in free-for-all are going to be insane in the late game. Insane in the membrane. So they gain 3 fire armor, extra 30% health. They get the outpost stone outpost visual. That's available at the Uvu in Imperial Age. I mean, so this doesn't change too much other than that just toxic Mongol playstyle that we're used to in the Imperial Age. It kind of affects 1v1s a little bit. You know what? Maybe it's not a little bit. Maybe it's a fair amount. I mean, the extra fire armor is definitely nice. But the extra health as well. Step Lancer upgrade moved from Imperial... Oh, no way. Hold on. Step Lancer upgrade moved from Imperial Age to Castle Age. Improved Step Lancer upgrade remains in the Imperial Age. So the Step Lancer's upgrade is what increases the amount of lifesteal that the Lancer can actually have, or that the Keshik can have. So the Keshik now gets additional lifesteal in the Castle Age, and then you can again improve that in the Imperial Age through the improved upgrade. Double villager production. Dude, Mongols are getting insane buffs. Double villager production cost reduced from 150 to 125 stone. Now, this is interesting because it's one of the few exceptions to the cost of double production. So the way that double production normally works is everything just costs double except you pay stone for it. Villages, there was an exception because villages pay themselves off very quickly. So there was always a fear that if you had 100, or if you made one villager and it cost 50 stone to do that, people would just only ever make double villages the entire game. But so they set the price quite high at 150 stone, but no one uses it. Literally the only time I've ever seen it used was a game I played against Kaup on. It was in the Battle Dome, and he used it as a meme. So that's the only time I've ever seen it used. At 125 stone, I don't know if this really becomes more viable. I don't think it does. I think it's kind of wild, right? Like, maybe players look to go for one of these early on. Maybe this becomes an alternative, right? Instead of going for my double spears, I'm going to go for my double vills. It could be. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see. Ottomans, big... ladies and gentlemen, watch out. It's happening. Ottoman enjoyers, get your comments ready. Here it comes. Let's get the music going. The Istanbul Observatory Landmark production speed bonus increase from 60% to 100%. Sipahi training time increased from 28 to 30 seconds. Wait, what? They increased the Sipahi training time? That's got to be a mistake. Ottoman, if you're an Ottoman enjoyer right now, comment down below. How could you nerf the Ottomans? They are the weakest... Okay, sorry. Let me move forward. This change fixes an issue where the Sipahi provided more resource per minute compared to other units when trained from military schools. Okay, good point. Great Bombard changes. Cost reduced from 900 gold, 450 wood to 800 gold, 450 wood. You could have gone a bit more. I wouldn't have mind. Population reduced from 4 to 3. Okay. Attack speed increased from 7.75 to 7. Okay. And you might be wondering, how do they increase the attack speed? But it goes down. And that's because this is every one of these is a second between the shots. So an attack speed of 1 means 1 second between each shot. So an attack speed of 7 means 7 seconds between each shot. So essentially they've gone from 7.75 down to 7 seconds. So it is a slight increase in the attack speed. And the Great Bombard emplacement cost has been reduced from 250 gold 500 stone to 250 gold 400 stone. Definitely a change in the right direction. I do like that. All right, so pause the music because we've got to talk. This is a big buff to Ottoman Imperial Age. And a lot of people might look at this and say, Drongo, you're memeing, you're dreaming, you're having a good time. This buff from the Istanbul Observatory stacks with the existing military academy production speed bonus. So now you have that 100%, but you also have that extra, I think it's 30%. I'd have to double check my numbers. I think it's 30%, 35%, somewhere around that region. So now your units are producing really fast. And that's just not your free units from your military schools. That is all of your units. That is your Great Bombards. That is your Sipahi. That's your Janissaries. That's your Spearmen, your Men-at-Arms. It's absolutely everything that is building faster. Now, the highlight there is obviously that your MIA, your Mehmed Imperial Armory, is going to produce free units faster. So that's a big highlight. But also that your military schools are going to produce their units faster. Now, I don't think it's going to be a whole lot faster. From 60% to 100%. I mean, obviously that looks really good in the numbers, but it's not going to be a massive difference. Like, it might be that your free Janissary, instead of producing in 65 seconds in Imperial Age, now produces in like 58 seconds or 54 seconds, something like that. It's not going to be too crazy, I suspect, but it's still going to be noticeable, and that's what's important. In addition to that, the changes to the Great Bombard, obviously in line with the changes to the other Bombards, but I will just highlight the fact that the Great Bombard is a much more general unit, whereas the Bombard is quite specialist. The Bombard, the focus is to kill buildings, whereas the Great Bombard, it's to kill everything. So I think this is a much greater buff to the Ottomans than it is a buff to the other civilizations. So I would say that much. Obviously, the Great Bombard emplacement as well. I've always had hard words about this emplacement. It's a bit of a meme. I think that anytime you see a Great Bombard emplacement, you just avoid going near it. That's probably your best bet. And I don't think that's going to change here. I mean, if anything, it's just going to be harder to avoid because there's going to be more of them now in your enemy's base. So that is something we'll have to keep an eye out for. But who knows? Maybe the Ottomans are going to be a bit more monstrous in the late game. Anyway, let's move on. The Rus scout line of sight reduced by 1 tile to be normalized with all other civilizations. Wait, you guys were getting an extra 1 tile? And then someone else is like, you guys were getting scouts. Anyway, you guys know the meme. So that's obviously a nice little nerf for the Rus. Get out of here. Kremlin, big changes coming through. Castle Age Kremlin militia health reduced from 125 to 115. Stops all those Castle Age Kremlins, those Kremlin Gremlin pushes. And Castle Age Kremlin militia damage reduced from 12 to 10. Loving it. Militia cost increased from 40 to 55 food per ticket. Rest in peace, Rus. It was nice knowing you. You're still probably pretty good, I'm sure, but I mean, it doesn't really change feudal age Kremlins. So it means 2TC Rus is still going to be very strong. It does just change that timing on the Kremlin, or not the timing rather. I mean, it does kind of change the timing because of the food ticket increase, or the ticket food increase. But yeah, I think overall, these are really good changes. Everything went in the right direction. My main question is the Malians. Like, this seems pretty out of left field, though. I will say that much. Let's take a look and see what their known issues are and what they're working towards. Loading campaign save gives pop-up warning about mods. Okay. Hallows Hearth event challenge. Threatening can be triggered on any biome. Oh, there you go. There you go, guys. You heard it here first. Do it on temperate while you can. Outposts fail to render after researching Pax Mongolica on some machines. Oh, that's going to be fun, isn't it? All right. If you guys want invisible outposts, research Pax Mongolica and just put them in your enemy's base. Just do it for the memes. So apparently it's Xbox One consoles and PCs using Gen 7 graphics card. What's Gen 7? I didn't even know what a Gen 7 graphics card is. Anyway, oh, they render as pre-cached cubes. Oh, the green cubes or the blue cubes. Cool. All right. Investigation. Community reported issues. Your reports continue to be crucial. Blah, 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 blah. What's on the horizon? Oh, I wonder. The Sultan's Ascend expansion. Lead powerful forces, of course, guys. We've got a new expansion coming out November 14th. I'm excited for it. You're excited for it. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that pre-order button. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can go and view these notes if you'd like to. And the pinned comment below on every single video from here up until the expansion, it is going to include a link to the pre-order page where you can go through on Steam and pre-order this. Let's take a look and see what they've got to say. So paired with the release of the upcoming expansion, there will be a major update coming on November 14th. This update will mark the start of Season 6 with the ranked season beginning the next day on the 15th. Stay tuned for all the new and exciting things coming to Age of Empires 4. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not excited, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. You probably got one of those conditions where you can't get excited. I think that's a dysfunction. I should talk to my doctor about that. Anyway, that's a joke. That's a joke, guys. Anyway, look, overall from the developers, this patch is 100% on point. I'm loving it. You're loving it. It's wonderful. Shout out to the devs. Keeping it real. If you think that the Ottomans have not been buffed enough, please let me know down in the comments below. I'll be expecting your comments. Make sure you use your bots to upvote those comments. Don't actually use them, but I know that you're going to do that anyway. But anyway, we'll leave it there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to the Sultan's Ascent.